Hi, welcome to my balcony garden. We're going to talk about
Hi
today.
guys, I'm here to talk to you today about your soil. When you transplant plants and you put them in a bigger pot, or you're done growing in that pot and now you want to put something new, don't throw that dirt away. That soil is recyclable. You mix it in with the new soil that you have. You mix it in and then you reuse that soil. That soil can be reused over and over and over and over again, as long as you're mixing it with nutrients, right? So if you have a compost, you can take that used soil and mix it with the whatever you have in your compost to enrich the soil again. You can also, there are many ways of enriching the soil. It's like, okay, so I buy soil for new transplants, but if I have the dirt, if the transplant is in a pot and it has dirt in it, I'm not tossing that dirt away. I mix that dirt into the new soil that I have and mix it up and make sure I have like 60% potting soil and 40% peat moss. I will mix that up and reuse that soil, right? Reuse it. It is important to reuse soil. Or if I have a plant that has, let's say I have a plant that's grown really big for the pot, the roots. The roots are now becoming root bound, and I need to either redo it or repot it, whichever one, because you can cut the bottom roots on the plant and shake off the dirt and put fresh dirt into the pot and replant it back into the same pot, and it will flourish. The roots now will grow, the new roots now will grow because you've cut off the old roots. The old roots are at the bottom. You always leave about an inch to an inch and a half of roots on the pot. About this much root system on the pot you want to leave so that that plant doesn't die, right? So you could cut off the bottom, take off the dirt off, the old dirt off of the roots that are there, and then mix that dirt into the potting soil that you're going to use again with some peat moss, and put it in a pot and put that plant back into the pot with now with more dirt, right? So it could start the process all over again. Or if you're putting it in a bigger pot, I still suggest to cut some of the root system and put it into a bigger pot, and it will flourish. Definitely will flourish. Never throw away soil, because you could always reuse that soil, repurpose that soil. So I say that to say that once you start gardening, once you start it, it'll be a lot cheaper. It's more expensive to start it because you have to buy the soil, the pots, and so forth. But once you've started gardening, you can reuse the pots, you can reuse the soil. So if you up potted from a smaller pot to a bigger pot, that small pot can be reused for another plant, and that soil can be reused for, the same plant, mix it in with, whatever dirt you were going to repot that plant with, or just reuse it the next time you're repotting. But make sure you take that dirt that you used on one plant and enrich it. When I say enrich it, I mean like put, if you have new potting soil, mix it up with the new potting soil, the new peat moss, or mix it with some peat moss. Right, enrich the soil, right, and make sure your plants are in containers, so you have to fertilize your plants. I mean, some people fertilize them once a month. I like to try to fertilize them every 2 weeks, but sometimes I'll forget and I'll fertilize it like a month, a little, not quite once a month, but almost there. But they thrive anyway, but just make sure you fertilize them. They thrive better when you fertilize them, because remember, they're in pots. They cannot go down into the soil, into the earth to get their fertilization, right? And you don't have dogs walking around peeing and pooping on them to give them fertilizer. So yeah, make sure you go ahead and you fertilize your plants every 2 weeks is a good practice. And make sure the fertilizer is not that strong, so you can just I like a liquid fertilizer. I like to use a liquid fertilizer. Like I said, I use fish fertilizer. I have an aquaponic tank, and I take the water from my fish tank when it goes up into the top to supposedly water the plants, which I don't have any plants up there right now, and I will take that water and I'll mix it because that water is very strong. It'll burn the leaves of your plant. So your best bet is like a quarter of that to a quarter of the container to and the rest water, right? So 1/4 to 3/4 water. That would be your mixture on whatever container you're using, just as a guideline. But yeah, reuse that soil. Don't spend money, keep trying to buy soil and throw away the good soil that you have. Okay? So this is just to let you know. Have a great day and thank you for stopping by.